here backstage, pass out laughing. Yes, sir, here at Backstage, staying on topic with conversation, make you think, hey, please don't be scared, making a fuss, they jokes, partner, please lighten up, cause comedy's about making life funny, bruh. And if you're ready for the show now, follow me backstage, cause it's about to go down.
Welcome. Yours truly, the voice, D.L. Marshall, Mr. Savoir Faire, sitting in with you on tonight. Welcome to Backstage Pass Conversations. And you know what? We have for you, as you can see in the banner, man, we've got rap, gospel rap, hip, however you want to classify it. We got royalty. We've got the royalty this evening. So you make sure you keep it where you got it. Share it, because in just a few minutes, we're going to have our girl, Miss Tiffany, on the way. So, man, y'all make sure y'all get it and get it to us and get in, lock in. Make sure you tell everybody where they need to have it. You'll get your opportunity to have Miss Tiffany answer some of your questions probably, but without further ado, she hails from Mississippi. You've seen her in your favorite TV shows, as in Empire, Queen Sugar. She's an author. She's an actress. I'm deeming a model. She is one of the sickest lyricists with wordplay that will blow your mind and pop out your eyeballs. Giving God all the glory. Let's put our hands together as we welcome backstage Miss Tiffany from Mississippi. What's happening, Tiff?
Happening? What's going on? What's up? What's going on?
Finally got this made. And I got it right without reading it. Actress, author, artist, model. Boy, look out. So how you feeling?
I'm good. You know, so many different things going on, just staying busy, staying focused, you know. It's a lot of work.
Well, you say you staying busy, you say you staying focused. Let's talk about the focus aspect. How you staying focused while staying busy?
Working, being consistent, you know. Not everything is shared on social media, but you know, I'm making sure I'm responding to emails. I'm making sure that I'm on it. I'm being proactive. I'm not waiting. I need something, I hop right on it. And that's how I stay on top of everything, and just remembering the reasons why, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing and whom I'm doing. And that helps me to keep it all in.
Now, you said something that I think this generation really needs to hear.
Yeah.
Everything is not for social media.
No.
Can you please explain that for the folk in the back, in the rafters, and backstage?
Well, I know, at least for me, for the things that God has me doing, some things are better unsaid sometimes and unseen until it's the appropriate time. So you can be premature with releasing certain things. Then you have to deal with, you know, the enemy of those things, of the work that God has put your hand to and, you know, and told you to do. And so I'm thinking about, you know, what I post, when I post, how I post it, and where I am when I'm posting it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
You got to be mindful of everything, you know?
You don't want to post no live video of after party Miss Tiffany post performance in Magic City. You know?
I don't be in places like that. So you won't see that footage at all.
You read my backdrop.
You'll see that footage if I catch one of my boys and they say Mom, we're going to Atlanta to have a trip or something. I pull up and I track some phones or whatever and find my iPhone and they up in there, and then you might get the footage of Miss Tiffany.
Now, why would you follow your boys to Atlanta and not let them young men go and investigate how and where they need to witness?
Listen, if they up in there with some Bibles giving the word, then hey, I just may need to sit back and watch the show. No, just
They may not have no Bibles, but they probably be speaking in tongue if they stay in there long enough. you see
part we
my
don't do.
backdrop. You see my backdrop.
Not every tongue is,
Holy.
heavenly, right? Come on, a holy tongue. So yeah, I definitely have to throw the water in and get them on out of it.
Well, we're gonna have some dang DL moments. I just, I can't be me without having at least some dang DL moments.
That was fun right there, DL.
Right.
DL.
Hey,
talking about this stuff.
When you looking at a mother considering her boys in a place like that, your facial expression was priceless.
I have to go back and watch the replay.
So
snippy.
Let me say congratulations to you on the release of your project. He's been good. Congratulations. Let me say hello to Brenda Smith and Tamara Taylor. Y'all hang on in here with us. We're going to give you an opportunity here in a second to ask Miss Tiffany some questions. Welcome to DL's Backstage Past Conversations. I am your host, Mr. Sadwell Fair, comedian, radio personality, the DL Marshall, other known as The Voice. And welcome backstage, peoples. We're going to give you the hottest music talk and topics this side of heaven, all the funny you can handle. You probably are watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You're listening to it, Spotify, iHeart, or at your local radio station, right? We've got her here. And I call her, I tease her, but I'm being serious when I say she's gospel music royalty, because we'll go a little back history to come up with the present times. You were the first woman to make the final ballot at the Stellar Awards. Am I saying that correctly? If I'm not, correct me.
The first female solo rapper. Yes. Yeah. Not the first woman, but the first female solo rapper to.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, other females, but rappers, no. I was the
first. That's what I left out. The rapper part.
Hey, DL. There you
right go. There go another one. We're gonna have a dang DL counter to see how many times that is into play. You know what I mean? So we want to ask this as well. 50 years in the hip hop. We're celebrating that this year.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Go on and get into that.
I feel good about it, and I'm glad to see that, an art form like hip hop has survived this entire time and has been a anchor in our community and in our culture, something that has evolved and developed and has grown. May not necessarily condone everything that the content that's being said, but I can definitely say that we took on an art form and we dominated it as a people, and I'm proud of that. As far as the development and the growth and the age of hip hop, I think that, we should start seeing more as we matriculate in age as artists. Then our music should grow with us, right? So I think the sound should evolve to where you can go into an arena or a concert, where there are teenagers or young adults, but then you also have people who are just as old as hip hop and still love hip hop, but they might not necessarily like the arena music or the concert music, that the younger folks are listening to, but there's an appropriate setting for that. Or even, they can be in an arena or, concert style, but give them something different to listen to, or something that, helps to maintain that originality of hip hop without necessarily being old school. Although, people still love old school music because they grew up on that. And so, that was the thing. Some of their favorite artists, are from the old school. But I would say, as we evolve in sound, as we evolve in content and lyrics, that, our music should definitely grow with us and show some maturity at some level at some point. And so that's where I am now. And quite a few other people I know who are still in hip hop and artists and, have been in the game for quite some time. Their music has evolved with them, so hip hop has gray hairs now.
Isn't that something, man? We're about to start aging out of hip hop. And how did you get into the game, and when did you get into the game? Since we're talking about we're celebrating 50 years.
Yeah. So I started writing poetry when I was 7. Started writing my first rap. I wrote it when I was 11, and then by the time I was 18, I was professionally recording. In the studio. I was a secular rapper at the time. Ended up being in a really bad car accident a couple years after that with some guys that I was in the group with, a rap group with, and God healed me after that. I was hurt really badly, and He healed me, and there
Praise
was no
God.
way that I could go back to, that same content or lifestyle or, around the same people, places. God called me to, a higher place in Him. And so I didn't do anything for quite some time. Years passed by. And then one day He spoke to me and He told me that, that I could still rap and that I could use rap as a way to spread the gospel, and because I was in ministry at the time. And so He married the two through revelation. I had never heard of gospel rap before, never heard of Christian hip hop artists, didn't know it was a genre or culture or anything like that.
Mhm.
And, pretty soon after, my eyes were open, and, and I was in the game and making way and making history. You know what I mean? The rest is history.
And you've been smoking ever since. So that definitely it's yeah, it's definitely hot tracks that you got. Now you said you started off writing your first rap 10 years ago at the age of 11. Ah, uh,
Dang, yeah. Don't tell my age. Everybody don't need to know I'm 21.
yeah, well, 21, you just became legal, and so we just happy to have you as a part of the
Dang. This is
as a game. Now, we backstage we bridge all genres of entertainment, and when I kicked off, I looked at artists. We kind of touched artists a little bit. Let's get into the author of Miss Tiffany. When did you become an author, and what led you into that lane?
Yeah, so it was something about at the age of 7 and me being inspired to write, right? So
Uh-huh.
poems that I wrote when I was 7 were in a book that I created because my teacher gave me an assignment to create a book. And I remember taking it up to her desk and how excited she was, and the praises that she gave to me as a 7-year-old Tiffany. And at that point, I wanted to write children's books, and
Okay.
so um, I researched it some years ago. It took 27 years after my desire to want to be a children's book author. 27 years, and at the age of 34, I published my first children's book, and did it by watching YouTube videos, searching the internet, finding out information, not waiting on anybody to tell me and give me the game. I had to go and find it for myself and, see what fit for me and what worked for me. And I was able to do that. A couple of years after that, maybe about a year or two after that, my daughter co-authored a book with me when she was 5. And
Oh,
so now
that's dope.
she's a published author, and I just released my third book, and this time it's a manifestation journal called Girl, God is in the Details. And it's for women, for young girls, for anybody, who wants to write down their visions, marry it with the word of God, and watch them manifest. Because a lot of what I'm doing now and the accomplishments that I've made, I wrote them down first, and then they became like a legal contract in the earth, right? Between me and God.
Between you and the Lord.
He kept his side, and I've been doing the work. So faith without works is dead. We've been working.
And with you and I talking, I told you that this past year, especially, I wrote down in a red notebook everything that I wanted, I desired. And then even when God would show me avenues to accomplish, I would kind of like make little footnotes in the note book next to where I said I wanted to do. And like I was telling you, it seemed like everything and more was able to be granted unto me. And I was just like, man, God, you are awesome. Not that I doubted that you could do it, but you blew my mind with that. So, man, definitely those that's watching, if you have endeavors, go ahead and write the vision down, make it plain. And then remember this, faith without works is dead. Hey, you got it locked. Backstage, yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sadwar Fair, the DM Marshall. Our special guest on this evening, we've got gospel music royalty, hip hop artist, author, actress, model, Miss Tiffany out of Mississippi. And we want to say what's up, boss lady, who's watching, Marvina Howard, who's watching, Brenda Smith, Tamara Taylor. Thank you guys for taking time out here. Make sure you read that banner that's going across the bottom. We've got some information on who we got here. And again, if you want to ask Miss Tiffany any questions, you can do so. So let's do this for a quick second. We'll give them about a 30-minute tease, and we're gonna get into some music here. And what we're doing, Tiffany, we also doing now the YouTube, the Roku, along with the radio. So right now, here's the radio break. We're gonna get into Go Hard, and she know I like this one. And while you sitting here watching this, we'll give a sample, and then we'll be back after this.
Next level, I'm gone, over it. Follow back my friends list about this long. Go hard, go home. Next level, I'm gone, over it. Follow back my friends list about this long. Ain't nobody buying y'all gimmicks. I'm prayed up, praying for the critics. Y'all gave up, I gotta get it. No 50-50, we ain't splitting. I'm vacating, but y'all tripping. Backbiting the tea sipping. I was over it before it got started. Chilling with Kirk at the after party. Got the plaque and the chatter started. Where's she from? Who is she? Why her and not me? She was on the news, Fox TV. She was in a scene with Lucius and Cookie. I never heard of her. Who's her bookie? I don't know, but her name is Tiffany. Some chick from Mississippi with that country grammar. Shot a video in Atlanta. Praise Jehovah cause he's a planner. Toes down, no rock and roll. It's solid ground. I was born a queen. I don't need a crown, but the crown of glory and well done. Now that's the sound while you running around. Running your mouth, talking about underground, but I'm busting out. Eyes open, I got a cloud. If I'm doing too much, y'all running out. Y'all get it in, I get it out. 5 talents, non-violent, I do damage. I'm blessed, can you handle it? Push my buttons, I flip channels and go hard, go home, next level. I'm gone, over it. Follow back my friends list.
That's music coming from none other than that girl from Mississippi, M.I. Cricket letter I. That well, I think that's how you spell it. But that's Miss Tiffany. Boy, that flow is crazy. We're giving just a little bit back. If you are catching us from the Backstage Past Conversation radio show, welcome back with our special guest, artist, author, actress, model, Miss Tiffany. Miss Tiffany, I've asked you this question 1,000 times, so you can go quickly. Just to kind of brief those that's watching with us how that song came about. I myself say that is hip hop, gospel raps, one of the strongest diss tracks. But go ahead and tell them.
It's not a diss track. Everybody keeps asking me, is this a diss track? Is this you beefing with somebody? I was not. It came about because I've accomplished quite a bit being new in gospel rap and Christian hip hop, and really have been overlooked in some arenas. And all of a sudden, some arenas were overlooking, and then some were embracing. The that they were racing to get to were embracing, yet they were not embracing me as a Christian hip hop artist within the Christian hip hop culture at the time. But it was the traditional, the gospel, the larger platforms, that took wave and was like, hey, come on over here. And so that's how it happened. And of course, you mentioned earlier, I made history at the Stellars, being the first solo female rap artist to receiving an official nomination for Rap Hip Hop CD of the Year. And I've done quite a few other things. I've been on Empire, season 4, episodes 8 and 16, a couple other shows. And so people started to ask questions about, well, who is this? And how did she do that? And where is she from? And who is her booking? And, all of that. And the whole time I'm managing myself, and it's me, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, doing this work and getting myself out there. And so
Trinity Booking Management.
I like that. Dang, DL, that's number 3.
It's yours. That's 3. We on 3.
and perfect,
There we go.
Come on. hey, you in the spirit now. And so yeah, so people had all these questions, but nobody came and asked me directly for the answers to their questions. And so I decided to, after I kept hearing all these different little things about, this wonderment, I wrote a song. And I said I wasn't going to let the things that they were saying or trying to discredit me or feeling like how did she get to this position, and we've been doing this for the last 10 years and she just got in the game, and then all of a sudden, I wasn't going to let that stop me and discourage me. And I said that,
Uh-huh.
I was going to continue to go hard, and it made me go harder. So I just wrote a song about it and answered every question that they were asking and wanted to know.
Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it. Here it go.
Here you go. And
So
I hope Go Hard inspires other people to go hard too now. And let me not, just get this thing misconstrued.
yeah,
I go hard, and I want other folks to go hard as well. Even the ones who were asking all of the questions, still continue to do what God has called you to do. And
amen.
work
And
your life.
you went hard. You went hard on them bars. Now yes, ma'am. You definitely did. And even if it was not a diss track, that you know, I'm a hip hop head, and my generation is the generation that started uh, rap and hip hop. So I kind of can hear when something got some oomph behind it. So I ain't gonna say it was a diss track, but it sure was diss track ish. Like Blackish, it was dick track. So yeah, it's sometimes some people got to know what people got to know, and that's how I go. So
Right.
yeah, it ain't no. You know what? Sometimes if you got to become Peter on the lyricist, sometimes you just got to be Peter on the lyricist. You didn't get unsaved. You just went hard.
That's all it was. I just had to. There was the first single that I released after my first EP, I Ain't Preaching to the Choir, which was Six Tracks, which is my first debut album, and it was the one that got the Stellar nomination. And so I didn't want people to think that, just because this person is a minister of the gospel, that you can run over this person, or you can just say whatever you want, or just maybe. And some of them were saying like who did the production and this and that. They just had comments because it wasn't the typical East Coast sound or
Got you.
West Coast sound. It was down south, and so people, for some reason, and the South has kind of taken over rap, these past couple of years or whatever. I ain't gonna lie, it may have originated on
More than a couple.
Man, we've been rolling for the last 15 or so.
Right.
Yeah, first, yeah, we kind of been rolling. So, people always didn't want to give the credit to folks in the South or the sound of the South.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it was just like, nah, y'all ain't about to do this. And we got to show you how we really can step. So
Right.
I wrote the song, like, don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? I'm still a lyricist. This is rap. This is hip hop. This is an art form. And we tell stories, and we get it out with words and lyrics. So
Now that's what I think a lot of people miss in hip hop, what you just said. And not to try to make anybody feel like I'm coming at anybody, but in this mumble rap generation, the form of storytelling, the art of storytelling kind of got misconstrued and lost in the origin of hip hop. And what I like to hear, especially in this gospel realm, is the story. Tell me how you got into this. Tell me how God's been good to you. Tell me how you still got swag. You still carry drip, but you still just as holy as the mother sitting on the front row. Talk to that aspect about, let's not miss the essence of what is really hip hop.
right. Right. Yeah. So my first album was really loaded with lots of I would say scripture and rhema and revelation. This second album, I decided to put more of myself, my life, my history, things that I've been through, traumas, life experiences, so that people could associate and could relate to my music, to me as an artist, to me as a person, to me as a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah, so I opened up more and showed some vulnerability with this particular album, and I told some stories, and I think that it was an important, connection that I needed to make with my listeners, with my audience, and basically name the album "He's Been Good," so that I can show growth from the time I released the first music, but all of my life He's been good because we're talking about things that happened from the time I was a child up until now, on the album. So it's a great display of He's been good. And I think we all have a testimony or an experience where we could say God is good.
All right, man. Yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sad Warfare, the DL Marshall, Miss Tiffany. She is an artist, author, actress, and model, and she's killing the charts right now with her new music. He's been good. And, I've got He's Been Good, and the latest one is escaping me right now. I just tried to load them up.
Set them free.
Set them free, man. I had to take off the red bottoms and the LV. Look, look. I told you. You already know. But as on the YouTube and Roku side, I tried to upload the audio, which it wouldn't let me. But those of you that are listening through Spotify, let's do this. Let's take time out. We're going to go into the one that Miss Tiffany said is her first effort, which is Preaching to the Choir. And then we're going to come back with He's Been Good. You've got it locked to the hottest music, talk, and topic this side of heaven. All the funny you can handle. We are DL's Backstage Pass Conversations. All right, welcome back to the hottest talk and topics this side of heaven, the hottest music. Look here, we're going to do this, Tiffany. You see that right there? That is the new album cover. He's Been Good. Y'all make sure y'all look at that. So when you see it on iTunes, you see it in all digital download platforms, go and get that, man. And you know what? It's probably the best looking album cover in music right now. I'm talking about that there. If I looked at that, I wouldn't think, and it's no knock. It's just, I wouldn't think I was going to pick up a gospel music album.
Well, the thing about the album cover, right? So Tiffany is just more than just an artist. I'm into fashion. I'm into beauty. I model. And I wanted to do something that was beautiful, something that was classy, something that was graceful. And, to kind of set the bar, not just necessarily, I would say in music, but to kind of establish a brand, one would display a woman who is covered, a woman who is modest, but yet still fashionable.
You did it, because I ain't gonna lie, that took me back to young DL, Mr. Scooter, Uncle Scooter. I would have hung that up. Yeah, I'd have hung that one up. I'd have been reading the back of the album like, where is the fan club address? Maybe we could get her to come to the school and do a rap concert. And speaking of that, you still doing appearances? I know you're doing book readings and things like that. Let people know how they can reach out to you, which we'll do again before this conversation is done. But if they want to get Miss Tiffany, the author, Miss Tiffany, the artist, Miss Tiffany, the motivational speaker, how do they get you if they want you at their school?
You can email. I think a school will probably want to email rather than reach out over social media. But of course, however you can get me, would be the best way for you, the best method for you. But my email is tiffany.coleman.mcgee, that's MCGEE, @gmail.com. Then my social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all of that stuff is @official Ms. Tiffany. That's MIZTIFFANY.
All right. And I tell you what, if you want Miss Tiffany, you can go ahead and type that in the comments. I'll pin it for you. But we've got Miss Tiffany out of Mississippi. Let me say this to you too while you're doing that. Congratulations to Miss Tiffany, who is up for, she's been nominated and she's up for Gospel Hip Hop Artist of the Year at the Gospel Triangle Music Awards, that we both will be, Lord say the same, in attendance down in Philadelphia, Mississippi on next weekend. How did that come about, and how are you feeling as far as with that?
I'm feeling great. And I don't know who nominated me. Somebody, I think I found out about the nomination when you congratulated me and said, congratulations on your nomination. I'm like, what nomination? So shout out to whoever did the nomination. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your recognition and your acknowledgement of my work, of my artistry. I'm grateful. And of course, I've, got a little history with the Golden Triangle Awards. I won Gospel Rap Artist of the Year a couple of years ago, but I wasn't able to attend. It was right, during COVID and stuff or whatever. And so
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
go. But I will be there next weekend. I'll be there this year. So
And I got nominated and didn't realize it myself. And then when I found out and I went and looked at the nominees, I saw you, and that's when I shot over to you the congratulatory message. Hey, let me say what's up to Abronia Scott. She just kicked in. Regina Ramey. Guys, when you come in, y'all know the drill. Let us know where you're listening from. Rep your city. Ain't no city like Kansas City, but you can still rep your city, You know how that go. Hey, I got it up there. Let people know the outlets, the different outlets. And if, some people may be dinosaurs like DL, if there are hard copies available, how can they get that too? But how can they stream? How can they download? How can they get the music, the new album from Miss Tiffany? He's Been Good.
Yeah. So for hard copies, physical copies, same thing, tiffany.covenmcgee@gmail.com, or you can shoot me a DM through social media. And then my music is available on all digital outlets. I had major distribution this year for this album, I would say. This year. Yeah, the album just released on January 27th of this year. And I had a major distribution deal behind it. And it is out everywhere. Wherever you stream your music, wherever you download your music, it's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. It's out everywhere. Wherever you're listening, I guarantee you can find it.
Definitely. Now, this process, I know you had talked to me and said, you know what, DL, I got some new music coming. It's going to be different. It's going to be so different, but I really don't want to say nothing. I just want to catch people off guard with this new. How hard was that? Take us through the process of, like with hip hop, you see like people keep re-innovating themselves. Like you don't lose your essence, but you become, just as relevant for the new audience that are coming to know about it. How hard was that, or at all, in coming up with this new formula?
It wasn't hard at all. I knew what I wanted. I think the most difficult part was communicating it to, so that the producer could understand what it was that I wanted to do, but there was prior producers. This new producer, Tri Bishop, that I was introduced to by The Truth, understood exactly what I was looking for, and even more so than what I thought I was looking for. So he added his sprinkle and his seasoning onto it, and man, we came out with a gumbo project. So
yes.
Yeah.
And you got two videos out, am I right? Or is it one? One for you and then one that you have a cameo on?
Oh yeah, that video, DDIFF, Don't Do It for Fame, with Sky, is out. It's on YouTube. Now I had to, take them back to a go hard version of myself on there. It was straight gutter. But yeah.
You can tell God redeemed me from the hood, because them are the tracks I'll be like, oh yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you can listen to clean versions.
Be up in the church like, yeah.
Yeah, but some videos are out there on YouTube, and some new visuals are getting ready to be released as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Now, I think it was back in 2000. I was about to take us back anciently. About 2017, 2018, a fly young fella made a request that when someone started shooting a video, that they would love to have a featured part in their video. And I just want to make sure for that fly young fella on his behalf, I just wanted to reiterate, that was still on the table. It was still on the yellow slip, not on the pink slip. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't get fired from a job on my day off.
We may have something for you, DL. We may have, we can make that happen.
Just let me peek.
You gotta pull up.
Let me know. Let me know. I will. Let me know. I definitely will. Hey, watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Tiffany, artist, author, actress, and model backstage with today's Backstage Conversations, which you can always catch us right here on our Facebook Live, Roku, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, Spotify Radio. Marsh Media Backstage Entertainment has taken it, what you've come to love, audio, into the visual. All right. So, Miss Tiffany, we're going to do this. We're going to go into something from your first. But before we do that, let's hit them with this. And that ain't the one I was talking about. Let's hit them with
this is Miss Tiffany, and I'm listening to the homie, the voice, the DL Marshall on DL's Backstage Pass radio show on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Dang, DL.
I was on the way to the coast or something.
There you go. Hey, we'll be back right after this hot track from Miss Tiffany.
I ain't preaching to the choir cause they already believe this ministry with no walls. I'm taking gospel to the street. Lord, open up their eyes so it's you that they can see. I'm standing in the spotlight, but it's Jesus they receive. I ain't preaching to the choir cause they already believe this ministry with no walls. I'm taking gospel to the street. Lord, open up their eyes so it's you that they can see. I'm standing in the spotlight, but it's Jesus they receive. I ain't preaching to the choir, that's why somebody getting delivered. I'm prophesying to myself like I'm staring in the mirror. I'm a king, I'm a priest, I'm a prophet to the nation. If you got a problem with it, check yourself and stop hating. I'm on that all Jesus everything, hopping on that glory train. And all things in Christ are new, so I'ma be forever changed. Preaching to the choir when they already believe this ministry with no walls. I'm taking gospel to the streets, and the word is to my heart, it's consecration to my feet. My footsteps are ordered, I'm just praying to complete this commission I've been given. I just wanna please God, then I gotta die daily. It ain't impossible, but it's hard, so I reach for my Bible. That's the best place to start, from Genesis to Revelation. Lord, open up my heart. I reach for my Bible, that's the best place to start, from Genesis to Revelation. Lord, open up my heart. I ain't preaching to the choir cause they already believe this ministry with no walls. I'm taking gospel to the street. Lord, open up their eyes so it's you that they can see. I'm standing in the spotlight, but it's Jesus they receive. I ain't preaching to the choir cause they already believe this ministry with no walls. I'm taking gospel to the streets. Lord, open up their eyes so it's you that they can see. I'm standing in the spotlight, but it's Jesus they receive. Listen, I'm skin deliverance from my heart.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. That is Miss Tiffany, man. Let me tell you, y'all see why I say she called it gutter. So I'm gonna go ahead on and call it that too. But man, let's just say that was gully, and I love it. I love it. That's Miss Tiffany from Mississippi, and she said, "I ain't preaching to the choir. They already know. I'm talking to y'all that's out here in the streets. Those that y'all know y'all need to be trying y'all best to get what y'all need to get. All right. Right now, Miss Tiffany, I asked them and they did it. Nick Nichols said he's supporting from St. Louis, Missouri. Bronya says she's loving that track out of Chicago, Illinois. So big ups, big ups. We thank all of you guys for tuning in right now. Backstage with DL Marshall. Miss Tiffany is our guest conversationalist on today. And, Tiffany, what is the most gratifying aspect of what you're doing? And what has been one of the things that you be like, you know what, y'all keeping me before God because I'm trying to stay safe. What is the pro and the con?
The pro is that I still get to do the things that I'm passionate about and that I love to do. No matter if I'm getting paid for it or not. I love writing music. I love performing. I love, being a part of productions. You know what I mean? I love putting things together and then watching them manifest and watching them grow. I love inspiring other people. And I think, because I was faithful with the music, God continued to stir the gifts. And I had many talents and some that, I didn't imagine that I would be doing. But doors open and opportunities open for me to be able to do that. And so I have so much variety, and things that I can get myself into. And I'm grateful for that. And so that's the good side of it. I guess the cons to being back in the game would be, just dealing with people who don't do good business sometimes, or don't have the best intentions, and are not, really for you. You know what I mean? But that's
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And we
yeah.
just have to deal with it, and learn when to navigate, when to steer away. When to back up, when to stop, and when to keep going.
That's definitely when we have to know the voice of our God when He says that
Yeah.
I'm their shepherd and my sheep know my voice. We got to understand when God is telling us to halt, when to freeze, when to bow face and retreat. And it is a war. It's a spiritual warfare, and it's not won by flesh and blood. Although our talents come from a flesh and blood vessel, our gifts are sometimes manifested through these flesh and blood vessels, but it's definitely by the Spirit and the power of God that gives us the might to go through. Even when people are nice to you on the phone, and then when you get to their hometown, they're not as nice in person, or when you get there as they was on the phone. They don't keep the same promises that they suggested they would when you get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just good to allow God to handle all the intricacies, and just we just go and do what we do. And one thing I learned is sometimes it's best, like especially when they promise us, let's say our per diem, they tell us they're gonna get us in for some money, and they ask us the money that we need to come, and then they get that let me holler at your ministry. No, bro. So I would prefer you tell me beforehand. That
Yeah,
way,
because it's an expense. You know what I mean? We have to spend out in order to get to certain places. And you expect that if they supposed to cut the check or had the cash when you arrive, then that's what you expect, because you had to get there.
thank you.
Got to
Yeah,
get back.
and don't be low down, because a lot of these promoters, a lot of times, are pastors, or somebody on the church committee. Stay godly, y'all. Don't get us there knowing you ain't got it and hoping that y'all sell some last minute tickets, and then tell us, hey, ain't got it all. Hopefully some more people come. We're gonna lead this up to your discretion, whether you want to go forward, or we'll honor the contract. Since we didn't produce what we said, we understand if you don't. Give us an opportunity to go on that stage knowing that although they didn't have it all, they told me, and I made the choice to go forth in ministry. Opposed to, yeah, get us up there. We get off the floor. We hungry. We just want to get our money, get our envelope, get in that Uber or that ring, get back to the room, munch
Fancy
on.
envelope.
Give me that envelope. Get you some Chick-fil-A, get up in your room and chill. Doggone it, I done gave away some free advertisement. I'm looking for a meal, red and white poultry bag place. That was definitely a dang deal. I did that one on myself. I wasn't expecting to do that. Tiffany, tell us now, was I clear in the understanding? You made an announcement about radio. Can you explain to the Backstage listeners about that?
Yeah, so in addition to being a music artist and an author and a model and actress, I am a radio show host now. I hosted in the past. Yes, something I've always wanted to do. I co-hosted in the past with a few friends of mine, and that came about because I did so well in the interview, and it was like, would you like to join us and co-host with us sometime and be a guest co-host? And so I started, featuring being a guest co-host, then became a co-host. And sometimes, it would be where the main host wasn't on, but I was, kind of leading the discussion along with the other co-hosts.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, something that I always wanted to do. I remember when I was little, I used to imitate the
Get
radio
out of here.
personality from my city. I used to be in the room, and saying what they were saying and all of that. So when I was presented with the opportunity by God's House of Hip Hop out of Los Angeles, God's House Hip Hop Radio out of Los Angeles. I was elated, and for sure, I wanted to take the opportunity, and it's fell in my lap now. So I'm excited about it. I'll be playing 100% of the women of Christian hip hop. Their music will be on my platform. And we're going to see what God does with that thing. I think this is going to stir the gift and continue to open more doors and new opportunities now that I'm in radio.
Kudos, congratulations. And one more again, please tell the name of the show and where we can hear it.
Right. It's called CHH, which stands for Christian Hip Hop. It's called CHH Ladies Night with Miss Tiffany. And you can download the Dash radio app and scroll down, find God's House of Hip Hop. And you can listen there on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Dope, dope, dope. Miss Tiffany still bringing the heat. And you remember what I told you when we were down in Atlanta, right? Just you remember what I said?
Okay. You said
as far as the Beyonce and Jay-Z analysis.
What'd you say?
I said that you're gonna run this Christian hip hop like how Beyonce is doing, because you were cleaning up with the awards. I said it's your season. You were about to release what is now released, and He's Been Good. And I said, man, you can expect 2023 to rack up and clean up. And I had no idea that you were about to get a radio show. It was just something that out of encouragement, God had me to relay over to you. And that looked like that was it. So glory to God for it, man. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, real quick before we let her out of here, we have conversation with Miss Tiffany. Let's do this. Let's get into some more music by Miss Tiffany, and we'll be back. I am the voice, Mr. Savoir Fair, the DL Marshall. She is Miss Tiffany. We are DL's Backstage Pass Conversations. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to the hottest music talk and topics this side of heaven. Another hot track coming from Miss Tiffany. Miss Tiffany, this is really moving into, we on the brink of March. We had one heck of a Black History Month. I did a lot of schools, a lot of mentoring, a lot of Black History talk. And it wasn't just Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all. We made it kind of current, you know what I mean? And we covered a plethora, a gamut of Black history that related to the kids and the age level that I would be talking to. But we're fixing to move into, I think would be a good month coming off of Black History Month, which is Women's Acknowledgement. There you go. Let's talk about that, man. How do you feel about that? I know you're a big component for it, but just how awesome is that to rock out a Black History Month into this?
Hey, listen, women have contributed so much to this world and to this earth and to our lives. And we contribute to, the upbringing of children and the rearing of children and communities and families. And just the woman is all around. You know what I mean? And why not commemorate? Every day is a Women's History Day, I would say. But we're thankful for the month of recognition. I'm grateful for that. And it's doing what it does, celebrating women.
Now, I love to have conversation like this with women as such as yourself, because you come out of thought rather than emotion, and it's always good to be able to have conversation. It seems as though the world is looking to make the Black man and the Black woman be opponents. Pretty much enemies. And, I've made it my business to intentionally make posts, and wherever I go, wherever on this platform, which I'm doing now, is to say, Black man, Black woman, we are not enemies. We're teammates. And, even this conversation as such, giving accolades to each other, not just because, well, she's a woman and I'm trying to position myself with strategy, but Black is Black. And whenever you see dopeness in Black, man, it's a blessing. How is it you find, because I saw how dope the hip hop community is in Atlanta, how you guys pushed each other. It superseded being male or female. One agenda was to make sure that hip hop in the gospel industry is noticed, respected, and received. How important do you think that same mindset is for the black man, black woman, which would trickle down to the black child?
Oh, it's very important that we encourage one another, that we support one another, that we affirm and give words of affirmation, and that we know, that we are loved. You know what I mean? The black man needs to
Amen.
know he's loved. The black woman needs to know that she's loved and protected. And we always say that, the black woman is probably the least protected. But I also want to say that even though men, are covering and protection, that men need protection in a way as well. Maybe not so much in the physical sense, but in the emotional and the spiritual sense. And
Yes, yes.
they need somebody praying for them, and somebody uplifting, somebody encouraging, somebody, saying you're doing a good job or keep at it, or, because y'all face so many things that you do not talk about sometimes, I think, that you hold in. And a lot of times people don't know because you look strong, or because you make jokes, or other people laugh, or you have this great, magnificent talent. And it appears that everything is well, and it's not always the case. And so we have to
Yes.
be mindful of that, shake a brother's hand, give him a smile or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Say something
Hmm.
nice to help lighten their day, because they, if the man is being a man and doing what he should do, he's trying to bring sunshine, and keep that sun up in the sky for his family at all times. So there is no darkness, when it's
And
raining. Hey,
we
sun's
trying to
still
keep.
there. It's hot. I'm holding it up, but
Yeah, man. And
I'm doing
especially
it.
Tiffany, when we trying to keep the SON lifted up in our households as well. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. So I'm so glad that you were able to say what you just said, as far as that's what's needed, man. We've got Miss Tiffany, and she is definitely a boss in this industry. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say it just to be flattering, but her work speaks for itself. And I'm so happy that we were able to cross paths, because it definitely shows that we still have some pillars of strength in the industry. What is it that you would like to leave with our viewers and our listeners?
Always end interviews with encouragement, and with well wishes for anyone who has a dream, who has talent, who has
Gentlemen,
goals.
at the gym, live comedy extravaganza taking place at the 18th and Vine Historical.
Do it again, Tiff. I'm so sorry.
He's so funny. Y'all see how he snuck that in about the gentleman and all of that stuff. He just something else.
Look
Um,
out, look out. Go ahead, kiddo.
oh my God. Yeah, words of encouragement and support, and well wishes for those who have dreams, goals, aspiration, things, talents that are lying dormant that you're not using, that you want to use. Just start using it. Just do it. If you're afraid, do it afraid. I don't care. God has not given you the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. You can do
Amen.
this. Whatever it is that you want to do and set your mind to, and it doesn't matter how old you are. You're never too young, to put in some work, and you're never too old to put in some work some type of way. So I would say whatever it is that you want to do, go for it, and don't be
Definitely.
afraid, and just watch what happens.
Definitely. And man, you hitting some nuggets, man. We definitely want to make sure that the old doesn't feel forced out, the young doesn't feel kept out, and that we feel as though that even with the generation differences, that we still have the similarity of wanting to see souls saved for the kingdom of Jesus Christ. And that there is room for all of us. There is room for the older. Yeah, there are some things that I find myself, sometimes I have to catch myself from saying, man, these young folks. But I have to remind myself that when you're dealing with the body of Christ, when you don't have, man, them young folk, your church dies. And that's what we're trying to keep from happening.
That's the number one kicker for ministries that don't see growth, that see a decline, is that they have no youth programming and nothing that appeals to the youth.
That's it.
What grandma and matriarchs and motherboard and all that, they gonna eventually you know what I'm saying? They gonna pass.
Yeah.
You gotta have some new life coming in. And how do you keep them and keep their attention and keep attracting them? You have to, I don't want to say cater, but at least be relevant in the way that you minister, in the way that you, that you shepherd over a certain set of people. And with the young folks, you got to give them something. Gospel rap is intertwined with the gospel, with the scripture. So what's the deal with rejecting it or opposing it or thinking, oh, this is not God? God can move and be whatever he wants to be for whomever. He's all things to all men. And so, if you got to use a gospel rapper to come in there every now and then and do something nice and fun for the kids and have your space jumps and whatever it is that you need to have, cook out, you know what I'm saying? Do it.
Please.
Do it.
Please. Because, man, we are one generation away from being a godless society. Like, we're one generation away from people really not knowing who Yahshua HaMashiach is, Jesus Christ the Messiah. A lot of them don't believe in his deity. A lot of them don't believe in his power. Why? Because, and I was talking, and I promise I'll let you go, but we done start talking about work. But me and my dad, who is my pastor, Pastor Wayne R. Marshall, Transfiguration of Christ Church, Kansas City, Missouri, 1411 Topping, we were speaking. And in talking with my dad, I said, you know what, Dad? I remember it was a time that Mama would always be like, boy, hurry up, get dressed, come on, let's go to church. And I'd be like, I want to go to the ballpark with Daddy, or I want to stay here and watch wrestling with Daddy. And it'll be to a point that I would hear the conversations with my mom and dad is like, look, whatever you do, he'll do because he a daddy's boy. Yeah. So what I need for you to do is to at least try to come so going to church would be cool to him.
Right.
And it even goes to what I tell parents when I was coaching. Your kids take a hearty interest in whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, Tiffany, my dad was rushing my mama out the house to go to church. And I can't tell you the day it happened, but it happened. And I was like, oh, snap. You know what I mean? And so I was telling my dad, it used to be a time that you hear men in the family be like, man, ain't nobody going down that church. Let that old Negro take my money and put no Cadillac in his crib. And then, right. I'm a man like he a man. He ain't going to tell me how to live my life. And then next thing you know, Mama kept on going. And dad, like, and when I say dad, I'm not talking about mine, but I'm saying, in households. And so next thing you know, you got them saying, well, she keep on going down this church. Let me go on down here and see what she's so intrigued about. What's going on down here to where I may need to see what's happening. And so next thing you know, dad goes and you got dad.
Yeah.
Well, when you got the crack epidemic that came about, it was hard to find the women because the women was what? They were addicted to the drugs. What was bringing the family to church? The woman. And now we don't have that anymore. So it's a shame before God, but guess what? We can still get it back together. What one gospel comedian, one gospel rapper at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tiff. It's always a blessing to have you backstage. And we tried to do this before, but look, you know what? In God's timing, we got it. We got it, and to God be the glory. So Abronia said, I tried to click the link, but it didn't go through. What is the actual link? So what we'll do, Abronia, I will go back after and edit this, and it's actually at official MIZ Tiffany. And we'll put that in the topic again, and we'll make sure that we have that for you, man. Once again, this has been an awesome conversation with Miss Tiffany. Once again, Tiff, how can they get that hot music?
You can get that hot music on Instagram. If you go to Instagram or you go to any of my social media pages, let me just say this part right here. If you go to my bio and my profile there, the link, all of my music is there. So that's the quickest way you would likely get to it. You come to the social media, follow there if you'd like. The link is in the profile. But it's also on Apple and iTunes and Spotify, and everywhere you stream or download music, you can find it. It's even on Pandora. So.
Yours truly, the voice, the DL Marshall. She has been Miss Tiffany from Mississippi, author, actress, artist, and model, and now radio personality. Congratulations to Tiffany. If it's God's will, I'll see you next weekend down in the SIP, and hopefully both of us will be taking pictures with our new hardware.
Absolutely. I hope so.
All right. God bless you.
I holla.
Holla. That has been Miss Tiffany from Mississippi and Kansas City. Oh yeah, we ain't forgot. Here you go. I guess we did forget. It's up, but it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. And y'all know I'm still learning this. Y'all quit being so judgmental. I'm fixing to do it again. Watch this. Yeah. It's coming on. Boom.
Gentlemen at the Gym, live comedy extravaganza taking place at the 18th and Vine Historical District, April 29th, 2023. This event starts at 7:30 p.m. Doors will open at 6:30 p.m. promptly, starring the Gentlemen of Comedy, Bam Brown, the DL Marshall, and Carrington Lopez. Special musical guest Billy Bird, J Melody, host DJ Missy E, and hosted by Ed Rollins Jr. and out of St. Louis, Missouri, the boss of all bosses, Boss Lady. Tickets are now available. Give a call, 702-213-3439. That's 702-213-3439. The Gentlemen at the Gym, the Gentlemen Comedy Tour, Bam Brown, the DL Marshall, Carrington Lopez. We'll meet you there.
And we want to meet you guys there. And if you want to get your tickets are available right now. You hear me? They're available right now. You can call 702-213-3439. That's area code 702-213-3439. You can check all of my social media, all the Gentlemen's social media, and the flyer has a QR code on it that you can utilize that to purchase a ticket. And we will be at the box office Saturday, 12 noon to 2. We will be, all right, we will be right there at the box office. And we got one more. Not only do we do Backstage Pass conversations, Backstage Pass, the arena is on YouTube as well. And coming March the 18th, we have something special for you guys, and we want to make sure you watch it live. You know what I mean? So y'all keep it locked to all this media. Well, let me just tell you like this.
To the Arena Show with the Tones live March 18th, 11:30 a.m. Central, 12:30 Eastern. You know the Tones from Anthony Hamilton. You know them from the new single So Much Love and their very new release, Thank You. Now, hear them live on the Arena Show, YouTube and Facebook.
There you go, man. And that is about going to do it for us. If you have any questions for Mr. Sadwell Fair, yours truly, the voice, the DL Marshall, please, please, please go ahead and let me know now. And we'll allow this last little bit to go for questions. You can always catch the radio portion of DL's Backstage Pass Conversations. You can always catch us iHeartRadio all the time. I mean, that is just that simple. Just all the time you can catch it. And we will be giving you the hottest music, talk, and topics this side of heaven, and all the funny you can handle. And yeah, man, it is definitely a beautiful thing that God is starting to do with us backstage. I'm looking for something, if you guys can't tell. So I want to leave you guys with something that is dope. And the moment I run it down, the moment you will get it. And hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, that's all I can say is like, hopefully, yeah. But man, I thank you guys from Chicago. I thank you guys from St. Louis. I thank you guys, all of you that have decided to stop by for however long. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Don't take for granted the importance that it is when people want to take time to celebrate or to support you. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in the vision that I've always wanted to do, and we're going to do this. We're going to get ready to go. Matter of fact, let's see. We got some comments going on in the buildings right now. Y'all up in here? All right, now Sugar Trask is in the building and Houston, and in a couple of weeks, Bam and I is going to be playing the Match Arts Theater Center in Houston, Texas, and we plan on seeing Sugar there. And if you say something good about TV is about to happen, we are tweaking this. So what you're seeing, you'll get a chance to get a chance to catch us in seemingly this way. And I'm going to learn here in a second how to go ahead and do this and talk and chew bubble gum at the same time. But Sugar, we met Sugar down at I think it was either the Spin Awards or the Stellar Awards. I think it was the Spin Awards that we got a chance to see her and meet her. And she's in Houston, and she was like, we got to get some comedy coming to Houston. And I was like, yes, ma'am, we do. And so she's gonna be hopefully working with us. I thought I had something here, but I don't know. It don't look. Yeah. It told me it did. It really did, guys. It told me it did. Spin Awards. Yeah. Okay. Spin Awards. And we definitely want to try to bring, and I'll tell you what, too, it's a difference between going live and when a lot of people do this as a recorded show first. And this is what, maybe I moved too fast when I thought I did it the last time. But let's go about it this way. Okay. It is saying that I did it correctly. Now, if it don't let me do it, the lie ain't in me. The lie is in. Let's see. It just won't let me be great. So we're going to make sure we'll have all that for you next time around. I definitely thought that I had a dope video for you guys that I wanted to share, because it's actually, the song is actually, well, it used to be the most requested song backstage the month of September, August and September. And I'm not gonna lie, we got a battle that we're going to be releasing an announcement for who January and February is for the most requested song Backstage. But yeah, we definitely will be moving in that direction here. And man, I just, again, thank you guys for all that you have done in support of. Continue to support. And you heard what we asked of you guys. Go get those tickets to the Gentlemen of Comedy, April 29th. That would be the biggest gift for me. Go ahead and get those tickets. You get those tickets, I would be so happy and excited. And yeah, I just wouldn't know what to do with myself. So yeah, definitely do that if you would, if you may, and we'll be grateful for you. All right. So with that being said, we believe we're gonna dodge out y'all way, and I got some playing I got to do. Yeah, I got to play around with this a little more so that I can make sure that when I start doing this, ooh, it's gonna be nice, real nice. Till the next time, remember the gospel of Jesus Christ is contagious. Catch it. All that you do it godly. And if it be God's will, we'll catch you back next time. Be blessed.
You can ever have it backstage. All of the funny you can have right here backstage. Pass out laughing, yes sir, here at Backstage. Staying on topic with conversation, make you think, hey, please don't be scared. Making a fuss, they jokes, partner, please lighten up. The comedy's about making life funny, bruh. And if you're ready for the show now, follow me backstage, cause it's about to go down.